Sport is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Many athletes at the top of their game are getting paid some serious bucks. But every year, there are a few that stand out above the rest because they were paid far more than everyone else. These are the top 10 highest paid athletes in the world. Number 10, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the highest paid players in the NBA, but it was really his earnings off the court that put him over the edge and into our top 10. His businesses outside of sports have been plenty lucrative this year. Durant has invested the earnings that he received from his basketball career wisely, and it paid off. One of the big investments that paid off was the shares he had in Postmates. He had invested when the company was just starting out. So his $1 million investment that was worth a lot more now, especially when Uber purchased the company. He also has a stake in the Major League Soccer team, Philadelphia Union, not to mention all of the endorsement deals that he has to his name. But one of the biggest moneymakers has to be his media company. It has made him somewhat of a mogul over the last few years. The company has production deals with some major players like Fox, ESPN, Apple, and Showtime. It has also started to create its own content. For example, Kevin Durant was an executive producer for the live-action short film Two Distant Strangers. The film focused on encounters between the police and an African-American man that keeps happening on a time loop and ends in his death each time. The live-action short film took home an Oscar and was very well received. It's available to watch on Netflix. Kevin Durant has a net worth of $200 million. On the field this year, he made $31 million, and off the field, he received $44 million, making his salary for the year $75 million. Number 9, Tom Brady. Tom Brady has such an incredible track record that it's almost impossible to believe that he didn't make the top 10 list for his earnings last year. This year, he comes in at number 9, and as one of the best quarterbacks of all time, some might even say the best, he probably deserves this spot. Not only did he score his 7th Super Bowl title, but he also expanded his career outside of the game. He added some seriously lucrative endorsement deals to his name, partnering with giants like the eyewear creator Christopher Kluse and the apparel company Fanatics. Then he was a speaker on the virtual circuit, and that upped his earnings considerably too. On top of that, he has been branching out into his own businesses too. His wellness brand, TB12, has been doing very well for the football player, and now he has also launched an NFT platform and started a film production company. Tom Brady has a total net worth of around $250 million, and this does not even include the money that his wife, Gisele Bündchen, had made for herself. He made $45 million on the field this year and $31 million off the field, making his total salary for last year about $76 million. Number 8, Lewis Hamilton. The British Formula One racer is so well known and has so many endorsements that again, he is someone that you would expect to see on the list as a regular. But actually, this is only the second year that he made it to the top 10 of paid athletes. In 2017, he just slid into the number 10 spot. He was able to achieve a bunch of wins this year, and that adds up to a lot of bonus payments, pushing his earnings on the track way up. He also has a lot of endorsement deals that also add to his earnings. His endorsements include Monster Energy, Puma, and Tommy Hilfiger, among others. He started his own team on the Extreme E Racing series that also adds to his salary. He has a massive net worth of $285 million. His salary on the track was $70 million this year, and off the track it was $12 million, giving him a salary of $82 million. Roger Federer. Roger Federer had spent almost no time on the tennis court during this year because he had a knee injury that made it impossible for him to play. But he still made it onto this list because of his incredibly impressive amount of earnings that come from things like sponsorships. He's sponsored by amazing brands like Rolex, Credit Suisse, and Uniqlo. He also has a stake in a company, On, a Swiss company focused on apparel. He has a net worth of around $450 million. For this year, he received only a few thousand on the court, but he made $90 million off the court. So his yearly salary was just over $90 million. Number 6, Neymar. Not only is he an incredible soccer player, but Neymar is one of the most popular athletes in the world too. He is one of the most followed athletes on social media, and this following does sometimes result in more lucrative sponsorship deals. He has deals with brands like Nike's Jordan brand, and is a brand ambassador for Puma with his very own signature shoes. He's also an avid gamer, and this had had the game developers get him involved in their hit game Fortnite, with his own in-game skin and an in-game competition where players could win some shoes. Neymar has a net worth of $200 million. Most of the money he got this year was from on the field, and that was $76 million. And his earnings off the field was around $19 million. So his income this year was $95 million. Number 5, LeBron James. LeBron has been one of the best basketball players for a while now, but this year might just have been one of his best in the sport ever. He got his 4th championship too, and he's going to be pretty busy for a while yet. He left the deal with Coca-Cola that he has had for years and moved over to Pepsi. Then he's even becoming a full-blown movie star with the release of the new movie Space Jam: A New Legacy. He also recently bought a stake in the Fenway Sports Group, and even if this is just a really small stake, it will still give him lots of income. This group owns the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool FC, and even Roush Fenway Racing, all groups that are very valuable. LeBron has a massive net worth of around $850 million. This year, he has had an income from on the court of $31.5 million and an income off the court of $65 million. So his yearly income this year was $96.5 million. Number 4, Dak Prescott. As the youngest athlete on this list, it seems like Dak Prescott has a pretty bright future ahead of him. He's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and since the Cowboys are one of the most valuable teams in the world, he gets a pretty big paycheck as it is. But this year has been even more special since he got a massive signing bonus of $66 million. Along with his yearly earnings and earning off field, this pushed him past the $100 million mark. He already had a bunch of different endorsement deals with companies like 7-Eleven and DirecTV, and he has invested in the chain restaurant Walk-On's. His net worth at last count was estimated to be around $40 million, but I'm sure his earnings this year will change that number. He earned $97.5 million on the field and $10 million off the field, meaning his earnings this year comes up to $107.5 million. Number 3, Cristiano Ronaldo. He had made this list for many years in a row, and so it's safe to say he has been a pretty high earner for a long time. He was the first person in the world to reach 500 million followers across platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. He is a very popular athlete, and that means that he can get some really incredible sponsorship deals, like the lifetime deal that he has with Nike. And besides that, he also has his company CR7 that has branded clothing and accessories and is even involved in gyms and hotels too. And on the field, he's pretty great too. He has a 4-year contract that should easily be extended if he wants it to, especially if you consider that he recently surpassed the legendary soccer player Pele's record of career goals. Cristiano Ronaldo has an estimated net worth of $120 million. His earnings this year was around $70 million on the field and $50 million off the field, giving him a yearly income this year of around $120 million. Number 2, Lionel Messi. In the last few years, he's been in the news more for all of the controversies that were surrounding his contracts and the fact that he wanted to leave Barcelona early. And then, when his contract expires, he also has a bunch of really lucrative sponsorship deals, like his lifetime deal with Adidas, or the clothing line that he's involved in that gets designed by Ginny Hilfiger. He has an estimated net worth of around $300 to $400 million. This year, he received a salary of around $97 million on the field and around $33 million off the field, making that an income of $130 million in the last year. Number 1, Conor McGregor. At number 1 on this year's list of highest paid athletes is the MMA fighter Conor McGregor. His first fight in more than a year didn't go to plan. He was knocked out in the bout, but he was nicely compensated for his time and effort, getting around $22 million for the appearance. But what really makes him the big bucks are his ventures outside of the sport. He has a bunch of different endorsements in the gaming industry, and he also deals with the lifestyle brand Roots of Fight, among others. But the biggest part of his income this year came from one place. He sold a big part of his whiskey brand, Proper No. 12, and that was pretty lucrative too. He has an estimated net worth of around $200 million. His yearly earnings came from the $22 million in that fight, and then $158 million came from all his other ventures, making his yearly income $180 million, and easily the highest paid athlete this year.